What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Check This Out. I hope you are doing well. On this episode of Check This Out, we will be exploring even more uses for a bread machine other than making bread and pizza dough. On the previous episode, we used the Zojirushi Virtuoso to make a pound cake, and it came out pretty darn good. This time, as you already know from the thumbnail, we will be tackling meatloaf, or in this case, a sausage loaf, just because I happen to have a bunch of homemade Italian sausage sitting around in the freezer, and I figured, hey, why not? Most of the recipes I found for the bread machine meatloaf involve mixing all the ingredients by hand, but I thought, where's the convenience in that? I mean, really, if I'm going to do that much by hand, why don't I just pop it into a loaf pan and bake it in the oven? So then it occurred to me that a really convenient bread machine meatloaf would be one where the machine mixed the ingredients and baked it. Is that even possible? Well, to tell you the truth, I don't even know, but we're about to find out together. Since the Zojirushi Virtuoso has twin kneading blades, it may just be possible. The only thing I worry about is there may not be enough liquid in the recipe to get the thing mixing around properly. The blades may just sit there spinning, just working one section of the ingredients. Now, in the worst case scenario, it'll just be that the ingredients don't mix. I'll have to pull them out, mix them by hand, and then put them back in the pan to bake. So if you are as curious as I am to see if a bread machine can make a meatloaf from start to finish, let's get over to the kitchen and find out together. For this recipe, we're going to be starting off with about 1 1/3 to 1 1/2 pounds of ground meat. Most people traditionally use ground beef, ground pork, or a combination. About 1 cup of diced onions, about 2/3 cup of mushrooms chopped, about 1/2 cup of diced red and green sweet peppers, 2/3 cup of panko breadcrumbs, and about 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, along with 2 eggs. Okay, let's get it over the bread machine and see if this is going to work. Okay, here we go. I must say, I have my doubts about this, but don't worry, we'll salvage it if it doesn't work. So I took the 2 eggs, put those down first. Then I'm going to go ahead and put the mushrooms in. The sweet red and green peppers. Our onions. Now the tomato paste. And put the meat in, because hey, what's a meatloaf without meat? I'm going to see if I can spread this out over both blades. And then our panko breadcrumbs right in there. So let's get us a few turns of black pepper in here. I would say maybe about a 1/2 teaspoon. I don't need too much because there's a lot of spices and stuff in the Italian sausage. I should know, I made it. And I think I'll take about a teaspoon of salt also. Okay, I've got this thing to set up to knead, or in this case mix. I just guessed at about 20 minutes. We'll probably know before that if it's going to work or not. And then according to the Zojirushi recipe book for standard meatloaf, it cooks for about 1 hour and 15 minutes. That's another one we're going to have to adjust to see if it works or not. So let's get the lid down, hit the start button, and see if it works. It's been about 1 hour and 10 minutes, and guess what? The manufacturer knew the cooking time better than I did. But better safe than sorry, because with this machine, if you need some more cooking time at the end of the cycle, it won't allow you to turn it back on until the machine cools off. So what I'm going to do is let it sit for a few minutes now so it's easy to get out of the pan. Then we'll do up a nice glaze for the top of it and see how the whole thing turned out. Oh, there it is. It looks pretty darn good. I left it cool for a little bit, then I made a glaze. Then I hit it with the Sears all heat gun to kind of brown it a little bit on the top. If you don't have anything like that, some type of torch, you can just use the broiler, or you can just heat the glaze up in the microwave and brush it over the top. Any of those will be good. The glaze, it consists of 1/2 cup of ketchup, 1 teaspoon of mustard, and 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Mix together, microwave for about a minute, get it all melted, then I put it on top of it and seared it. So, I guess we all want to know, what's it look like on the inside now? I'd say it looks pretty good. It sure as heck smells good. Maybe we'll try a little taste of it. Really looks good. And I must say it tastes pretty darn good too. That Italian sausage that I used was slightly hot, so it has a little bit of a tang to it. I really like it made with 100% sausage. Well, I hope you think that this is worth giving it a try yourself. Like I said before, if it's a hot summer day, you don't want to heat up the kitchen. Yeah, you may have to mix it by hand, but then you can pretty much just throw it in there and let it go for an hour and 10 minutes, and hey, you've got meatloaf for the family. So I want to thank you once again for joining me on this episode of Check This Out. Please take care, be safe, and thank you so very much. We'll see you next time.